and welcome to Warhammer Workshop. My name is Amy, and I am joined, as always, for this very special episode in particular, by my good friend JF. JF, hello.
Hi.
Things look different.
Well, there's a little extra here and there, isn't there?
Which I suppose a lot of this is lost on the audio podcast listeners, but it's fine. This week, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, anybody that's listens to the show, whether it is the podcast or the video on YouTube, we talk constantly about this little event that we refer to as Hobby New Year, which is to us at least, and to a lot of people in North America, the biggest celebration for the hobby, Adepticon, which is, as far as I'm concerned, the best wargaming convention in North America. It's where we celebrate Hobby New Year. It's where we shop for cool new models, participate in hobby seminars, tournaments, and most of all, we just, hang out with friends.
Yes.
And a lot of them friends that we only get to see at Adepticon because they come from everywhere. So, but of all the events at Adepticon, one of them that is the most cherished to us is obviously the Warhammer 40k friendly.
Yes.
And I mean, it's how I feel 40k is meant to be played. Beer and pretzel, mostly beer.
It is usually terrifyingly my first game in at least a year, so it's great.
It'll be fine. No,
it's fine.
This time we'll get a practice run on Thursday. So we've decided to invite one of the mad geniuses behind the 40k friendly and other things, like this our good friend Brian Carlson here. Hi, Brian.
Hello, everybody.
So you've worked on the 40k friendly. Are you an instigator of the event? Were you there from the beginning?
Yeah, I picked it up year 2 when it was the Big Lebowski theme, and I'm like, oh, this is the cool one of my favorite movies ever. And they're like, hey, Brian, do you want to run this? And immediately I said yes. So we picked it up year 2 and have ran with it since. I think we're coming on like 12 years of running the friendly, something like that.
Nice.
I can't say. I'm trying to remember when I started playing the friendly, and it wasn't close to the beginning, but it's been like maybe 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, it's great. Every year we movie theme it.
It's
that's one of the things I'm going to want to talk to you about. But can you just for the audience or people who may not have had the privilege, the luxury of playing in the Warhammer 40k friendly? I gave my short description of it, but that's as a participant. But how would you sell the friendly to an Adepticon attendant?
For sure. So I mean, the first thing is we don't treat it seriously, right? So like put all the comp crazy let's win at all cost things aside. This is not the event for that. But if we boil it down to like what I think gaming is all about is sitting around with friends, drinking a beer, rolling some dice, telling good stories, having a good time, and it's like both sides need to have fun to make it work. And we kind of celebrate that. So if anytime we see things going too seriously, we'll insert some wacky hijinks to ruin the serious plans from time to time. But basically what we do is we make a 1,500 point army. We do review the list a lot of times to make sure they aren't super crazy. And we put some very odd missions that are themed around a movie every year. So we've gone back. Jeff, do you remember do you remember some of the movies that we did in the past? Like what were some of the earlier ones?
You guys did Friday the 13th. I remember that one.
My first one was Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
Which
one? There's another one that escapes me. I know last year was Spaceballs. I painted a lot of plaid for that.
Yeah, nicely done too, by the way, on the theme.
I think I got best appearance. Someone else got theme. But yeah, no. I'm trying to remember. There's another one that was.
We did the Dirty Dozen for 12. We did Spinal Tap for 11. So crank it up to 11. We usually try to theme the year to the movie. We've tried in the past. It gets harder the more years that go by.
Yeah.
What year are we on this year?
Shoot, are we legal drinking age? Are we 21?
Oh, snap.
22? I think somewhere on there now at this point in time.
Did we skip 16? Did we not get 16 candles? Warhammer 40 friendly?
That's a wild one.
What we did for 16. But yeah, last year was fun. This year is going to be Top Gun themed, and this was before we saw Top Gun Maverick come out. So there will be planes involved in all the games, which is really, really kind of cool.
Top Gun Maverick coming out has made my my like all of my auxiliary things a lot easier because Top Gun merchandise is very easy to get a hold of right now.
Yes. And I
saw.
hope my partner in crime, Jeff, is not participating too heavily in the beach scenes. We'll keep it PG-13 and not too much beyond that.
Listen, I've gone back to the gym just so I can be presentable without a shirt. So I'm expecting some volleyball.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things we try to do between the second and third round. We do some kind of fun team participation. So I should have brought that out for those who have not seen the friendly. Instead of everyone competing against each other, we break up into teams. So I know there's a certain color that is very fond of the two of you.
It's fine. Go team.
Go
pink.
team pink. Go team pink.
Yes. So we divide the teams up into 8 colors. We give them bandanas to kind of got some team camaraderie, and then the overall team score gets together. So it really doesn't matter what individuals do, but the team competes together. And a lot of these people have met for the first time in their team and see each other every year at the friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know I've made a lot of friends, or at least how to say, shored up some friendships at the friendly. The whole Team Pink thing has become kind of a meme in of itself, and it is by far my favorite event at Adepticon.
Well,
So
wearing bandanas, like we should have brought the bandanas out for props for those that are watching on the video.
that's why I was looking around my desk there for a second. Last year, Amy, just in case we needed it, sent us some Team Pink masks, and that's what I have. I do have all my bandanas.
I do too.
From previous years. I think the only one that's not pink is from my first year. I think I was Team Maroon or Brown.
Nice. It's a good time.
Right.
I'll put it on our
anymore.
Instagram. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
Absolutely. So since you weren't there from the beginning, can you tell us anything about like who or how the idea for the 40K friendly came up?
Yeah, Chris Merstadt was kind of the original mastermind behind it. And he was running all the 40K events back then, which is pretty cool. And I know he wanted to do something opposed to the championship final games, the top 16, which is incredibly serious. And that's the people really want to win it all. And we wanted to go something fun and different that someone could participate if they weren't, going for like the top spot in the championship. So that's what spawned it. And he just thought doing a movie theme. They actually had a sculptor, sculpt the dude for the movie, the Big Lebowski theme, like a space dude, which I think he still maybe gets something at Adepticon. And then, like I said, I fell in love with this theme. I love just the crux of just having a good time, playing war games together. So that's where Jeff and I jumped in on it right away.
So, I mean, you've already kind of hinted at it, but what would you say that so far your favorite theme for the 40K friendly has been?
So I think Camp Adepticon Friday the 13th was one of my favorites. I had just had a baby daughter at that point, my first kid, and one of the guys that was helping out made merit badges that you got to wear on a sash for doing stupid things throughout the thing. So he made a little baby merit badge specifically for me. So that's kind of special to me. And I think that was a year that we paraded around the top 16 chanting. I'll take that back. We had everyone grab their favorite miniature that they painted. We lined up everybody in a row and we walked around the top 16 tables chanting, holding up our miniature and everybody shouting what this is all about, the hobby and the having fun painting, and it drove the top 16 crazy. We're trying to be real serious. So there's a little bit of rivalry with the super competitive side of 40K and the friendly, who gets a little inebriated by the end of game 3.
A little.
I like to think that traditionally I tend not to remember my second game unless something really weird happened. Like I'll remember snippets here and there, but the details will be fuzzy.
What is that?
This is my rodent of unusual size from the Princess Bride year.
Princess Bride was a year too. I was trying to remember that one.
Yeah, Princess Bride. I have Buttercup.
They're running in doing havoc, creating havoc on the boards, biting people. I think if they had them doing right.
I think the Blues Brothers one was great because there was the nun that did the ruler slap, and that was vicious. It was so good.
Yeah, last year the packets of jam got a little out of hand for Spaceballs. You could stop someone's action from happening by throwing a jam packet at them from those little fast food jam packets. So Jeff bought like 100 of those things.
The funny thing is, like, I think the next day I saw people were still like snacking on some of those.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, orange whips. Orange whips happened
Orange
for the Blues
whips.
Brothers teams. We
Yep.
did the orange whip contest.
Relay.
I
Yeah.
remember the challenge for that one was messy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we haven't come up with a theme for the challenge between rounds 2 and 3 yet, but yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised there's some kind of beach challenge throughout that. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm working on my hot bod, so I'm sure everyone's eager to see that.
I mean, you've got oh no, it's not working. You've got several days left. Let's say 48.
It's
No
fine.
problem.
It's fine, no problem.
No problem.
I can lose 100 pounds. So, how much? We keep mentioning the subject of inebriation, and I know that it's not an 18+ event, but how much of a role would you say that drinking plays in the 40K friendly?
Well, I would say it's take care of your opponent, right, in good ways possible. So that's like people share beverages. You might, buy, maybe it's a Coke or a Pepsi or something like that, kind of help your opponents out. So again, it's in the spirit of both sides having a good time. So there's a lot of toasting. We have had finished glasses count as terrain at times. Like that sometimes enters in as a rule set every so often. So a little bit of gamesmanship if you finish drinks. That sometimes happens, but we do want to keep it safe. We did have some previous years where we had a little over the top, and all big family. So it's kind of watch out for your friends and make sure everybody's safe.
It's funny. Sorry, go ahead.
I've had experiences on both sides. There was one year where I did not drink, and there was one year where I had just cracked open a beverage when the countdown started that one could put one's empty onto the table as terrain, and it was a rare doubles round, and my partner really needed some blocking terrain, and I did take one for the team, and I do not remember the rest of that game.
Nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
That is some help.
I can't remember what I was going to say. It's like I'm playing
like
in
the friendly
already. It's like I'm playing there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the friendly is definitely one of my favorite things. Like I said, I'm already working on my models for it. It's going to be a great time. But the friendly is not the only thing that you're doing for Adepticon.
Correct. Yeah. So this last year, I saw something new. We started out. Andy and Nate started out the narrative, which was a really small event with some cool themed tables that had a Titanicus game, 40K games, and kill teams going on at the same time, where they all interacted. So we provided the models. There's some really unique, massive terrain that kind of had some big and miniature versions of that, and all interacted. So I saw that, and I was helping out with the team tournament at the time. Like, man, I would really love to help this event grow. So this year we're doubling the narrative size. So I mean, not huge. We're doing 16 people, and we'll have space battles, Titanicus battles, 40K, and kill team all interacting with a very cool theme, and all again miniatures provided by us.
That's so awesome.
When you say space battles, do you mean like Battlefleet Gothic?
Yeah, so we're going to run the Titanicus rules with spaceships. So we're going to borrow from that since it's more of an active system that people are familiar with. But we'll have space battles, and there will be a space Hulkish game going on in the boarding actions in one of the spacecraft in 40K sized. So there'll be a big asteroid. Nate's working on a giant asteroid where we'll have some Votan mining and finding something unique and interesting up in the space. So it's going to be kind of fun, very interactive.
Can you remind me what day of the convention that is?
So we are doing it Thursday and Friday. We're doing 4 sessions, real small. I think they're 5-6 hour sessions, 4-hour sessions, something like that. But we'll repeat it both Thursday and Friday. So yeah, those of you that are not doing the super competitive events or just want to stop by and check it out, I think it kicks off right around 10 o'clock or noon on Thursday is our first session. But yeah, we'll have 4 of those. They did all sell out, but you'll see some really big terrain. We'll be behind the friendly area and behind the champs going on. So in that same 40K hall.
I'm very interested in seeing how that works. I remember back in the days of, I want to say 4th edition, maybe 5th, Games Workshop put out what amounted to a pamphlet called Warhammer 40K Invasion that had scenarios that from Battlefleet Gothic and from Warhammer 40K and how to make these scenarios kind of interact. And at the time, I've always been big on optimistic projections of what Games Workshop's trying to do. And I was hoping, oh, they're prototyping a more complex, more integrated campaign system for all their different games. They did not, because as I like to say, Games Workshop loves leaving money on the table with cool projects. But what you're describing is sort of a DM'd version of that pamphlet. And I find that chef's kiss. Wonderful.
Thank you. It's definitely going to be very much directed by the three of us, so that we'll kind of help guide and move things along. It'd be, it's to make it more fun for everybody too. So there won't be any lopsided battles going on. We'll make it challenging.
Now, you mentioned that it's Thursday and Friday. Are these two different sessions, or is it a continuous event?
Well, we're going to repeat the same session each time this year. So, and if it's big and received pretty well, we'll kind of grow it. It might be a multi-session continuum in the future. So definitely looking to get feedback from the attendees.
Right. I'll give you my immediate feedback. My biggest problem I'm having with Adepticon these days is too many overlapping events. Like, there are clearly certain things that I will not sacrifice doing, like, say, the Warhammer 40k friendly. But then at the same time, I can't play any Aeronautica Imperialist because everything overlaps. So you guys need to consult with me when doing the schedule to make sure that I can fill out my days with all the fun things I want to do, and then you guys can figure out everything else around that.
We're here to serve. I mean, honestly, it might be something where we do a late night session for one of these. Like one day we do something late. It's just someone that wants to be a little more beer and pretzels, relax.
Yeah.
Again, less stress. That's actually something good. That's a good idea to consider for next year.
Yeah.
Talking to me, absolutely. No, don't. I don't have the event organization skills you guys have. So you also work with for the team tournament, right? You do some support for that, or are you part of like the core organization?
Yeah,
I never understood what everyone's role was for.
No problem. I was going to take over for the team tournament this year, and I just realized I just don't have the bandwidth of work and kids and all that kind of good stuff. So that I am turning it over. I'm actually going to be playing in the team tournament again this year. So Jeff and I of the friendly will be playing. We're back to doing a team again. So we're no intent of winning anything. We're just here to roll some dice. That nothing crazy for theme competition for us this year. But no, yeah, I helped out with the team tournament last year running it, and super exciting to see kind of what they have in store. But I don't know any of the details. No hidden secrets from me this year.
I mean,
we're not together enough to have asked any questions anyway. Plus, we're not. We go in. We're like the round one loss people. Like, please let me lose round one and get me in the losers bracket so that I can just have a good time.
It's actually caused a rift in the original team that we had, because some of our players wanted to do more, and clearly no one that wants to win best general or best overall teams up with me.
No.
And I'm so bummed out. The 1 year our teams would have played each other, I had to leave the convention for a funeral, which sounds horrible, but actually I came back. Yeah. And our teams actually played. We got paired that round.
I remember that.
Crazy.
Shockingly, I remember, and I say shockingly because I think that was a day 2 thing, and on day 2, usually, it was the third game of day 1, and I believe there was a bottle of whiskey of Jameson on the table.
Yes, there was.
It was going down very quickly, but I do remember your team kicked our ass.
Yeah, I can't. No part of that. No, it was not me for sure.
Listen, I don't care. I paint my pretty models. Usually our team, we go for theme and presentation. We like to tell a story, so that's what we're hoping to get done this year too.
Yeah, perennial favorites for theme, and that's why I really like the showcase. That's always so cool to see everyone's hard work that goes into that.
It's incredible to see some of the things. Like if you're going to Adepticon, whether you're signed up for the team tournament or not, make sure you get yourself like a 30-minute in the evening on Saturday to check out the team tournament showcase. It is 40K at its absolutely most spectacular.
We are super biased about that, but it is.
Absolutely.
Like, you do not want to miss this year.
Oh, no, you don't. I cannot reveal anything. This is
But-
4 years in the making
Oh,
because of because of the pandemic and everything. Last
Yeah.
year, Amy couldn't join us,
Yeah.
so we've been sitting on this for a while.
We were all asking where you were because you didn't have a special spot in the showcase last year, and then I had to remind them that you couldn't make it. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious to see what comes.
It's gonna be good.
Well, I mean, Amy couldn't make it. We made a half-hearted attempt at getting a ringer,
Yeah.
but it was very last minute, and
I'm
we didn't
irreplaceable.
want. No, you are. You are irreplaceable. Like, it's. You worked on this with us for like 3 years.
Yeah.
There was it felt wrong to begin with, and
Aw.
honestly, like the question of are we going to get a ringer, and we said we're going to ask 2 people that we know almost for sure can't make it, but yeah, no, this year we're back for the team tournament and back for the friendly. I'm super looking forward
I
to
need
it.
my medals.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Go ahead.
oh yeah, no, I need I need medals too.
I require validation.
It's the only thing that matters. Victory. I need my serotonin. I want to get back to the 40K friendly for a couple of seconds. So you mentioned like Team Ping, like the whole Team Ping thing, and obviously we've grown a certain attachment to Team Ping. We've almost got a static core for Team Pink every year. About
We have a group chat.
about 6 people. We have our own group chat. We're organizing giveaways. It's becoming a thing that perhaps you guys didn't necessarily intend. So does teams like Team Pink affect a little bit how you guys run the event, or does it have no impact? Do we bother you?
No, I want to encourage this kind of stuff. Like if we had more of it, since there's really no way to gamesmanship the scoring for points.
Yeah.
The more we can get like fun theme, have everybody having a good time. Like that's again the core principle of the friendly is inspiring that. So shoot, I mean, I'd love to see if more groups want to do this, as long as we don't get to the point where like we're gonna somehow game plan the army compositions to do that kind of stuff. But there's no one's ever treated it that seriously, so I have no worries.
So you're not worried that it's gonna like have any negative impact on the spirit of the event?
No. If anything, it just inspires others to get involved. I mean, we still get probably 10, 20, 30% of the people are new to the friendly every year. You know, we have a good core of you coming back every time, but it's nice to see like, you know, new blood coming in and getting them involved. They're like, wow, we never knew this existed. This is actually kind of cool.
That was my biggest
not
panic.
know that it exists? It is the loudest event.
It is the loudest event. That was my big panic when registration was going not terrific, and I was like, no, just the one. It's one thing. It is one thing. Please, just let me get in.
Yeah, we probably could scale a little bigger. I'll have to talk to Matthias, who organizes, you know, for future years, because I mean, we run the back end of it with only really 2 of us. In the past, and having a Swiss style, I used to try to be really serious. Like I wanted to be serious pairings, like the best people against the best people. And then I like said, screw this, everybody's like drunk by round 2 anyway. So no, there's some secrets behind it, but like round 2 and 3 are paired before game 1 is like a third of the way finished. So it's they make it easy to run from a scoring perspective.
Yeah, the tournament aspect of the friendly is very much takes a back seat to just, like I said, like the beer and pretzel aspect. It's a great way to be playing a friendly game with friends you didn't know you had yet. Do you opposed to what I just asked about, like fears of harming the spirit of the event? Do you guys have plans to expand on the idea of how the teams work, or is it just going to remain kind of like this is the bandana you wear and maybe your team will win?
Yeah, I think we're to probably keep it just the bandana you wear. Now, like there are like special requests like Team Pink that want to like group together because you're really good friends and this is fun for you. We'll definitely accommodate that kind of stuff. So the nice thing is we usually have about 13-ish people to a team. So there's always room to add. And I think yeah, I mean, maybe at some point in time we feel like we want like preset teams of individuals to come. It's actually, I'd love to get the feedback from the crew that plays.
Right. Like if it's anybody listening worries about the idea that Team Pink has more I say initial cohesion before it breaks down throughout the event. One of the founding principles of Team Pink in the background is always trying to provide as much of a good time to our opponents as possible.
Yeah.
And I think this year we've got plans. Like, we're all
So
walking away
dumb.
with people that we have no problem them being our wingman anytime.
I haven't gotten to do this since 2019, and so help me, I have a lot, of fun to have. This is, whew.
Yeah, and we purposely kind of designed the missions and some of the extra stuff to be wacky enough that you can't prepare for from a play style thing. So that's part of the thing too. So like, it's not never are they missions out of the book. We have been a lot of like sidebar stuff, and it's a little crazy. So again, like, when people need to treat it the way it is, which is not very seriously. Again, it's not for everybody. Like, I had some people like year 2 of me running, they're like, man, this event's terrible. Like, I'm so used to playing like rulebook missions, and like they were throwing some crazy stuff. He was doing like first turn charges, and my character was assassinated in the middle of the board. And yeah, so it definitely isn't for the cookie cutter by the book type players.
The year that it was the Princess Bride, one round, my warlord died before deployment. So that was good.
Is that where you faced off in the middle of the table?
Yeah.
Yes, nice.
Yeah.
It's what I like to think about the friendly compared to the other competitive events, that the friendly is less about gaining victories and much more about gaining memories. It's all about these moments that wouldn't necessarily happen in most other contexts. One of them in particular, like I remember one of my opponents I think he was playing Space Wolves, and he spilled some beer on one of his models, and instead of just picking up his beer, he just stared at it for a second and went, oh, that's how he would have wanted to go. And it's great because like for every year I have stories about these games that I don't necessarily get from more competitive events, where my mind is less about creating these moments and enjoying these moments that spontaneously arrive, and more on trying to think on how am I going to save my hammerhead from being destroyed by whatever super weapon my opponent brought to the table.
It's also your excuse to bring those models that you love but are terrible. Like, just put them in. You're good.
Yes.
No problem. And I faced off against the Solo Cup Dreadnought army one year.
There's a perennial ringer army. That is the, oh crap, we need to run this. And actually Jeff's oldest son has been the pilot of that Solo Cup Dreadnought army.
So the year that I did it, it was a bunch of regular friendly players who had convinced one of their more serious friends to come hang out, and he got put in charge of the Solo Cup. And so he sat down across from me and was not real delighted about any of this. And by the end, he did stumble rather drunkenly away from the table, and his friends came over after and shook my hand. So I feel like that was a successful year.
That is awesome. You took it for the team against the Solo Cups too. That could be a little intimidating at first.
It's not good. I could not shoot them. It was not a good time for me.
I think you had brought just Harlequins.
Those were my Harlequins, yeah. So once they were out of a vehicle at the time in the rule set, they couldn't do anything.
Back in the olden days of armor.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It was a good time.
It was. That's the thing. Like, I feel that the 40K friendly is immune to bad times happening because of tryhards, which is what makes it great. And I feel that the narrative event probably has the same thing. You guys, I haven't participated yet, unfortunately. I do hope probably in 2024 to be able to schedule this is why I need you guys to talk to me. Like, I need to be able to participate in all those cool events. But no, it sounds like another event that you guys will be sort of shielding from the sort of tension that comes from having these try hard moments.
Yeah, and I'll be fair. Like, I enjoy some of those games too. Like, everything has got its place, right?
Sure.
Like, so that's why I'm hoping that I can cater to those that are just here to, they don't get out very often, right? And this is like the one time they can kind of break free and have a good time, meet with friends, do that. I see Amy, you're like, yes, this could be one of those moments.
Yes.
The more experiences I think we can make to have everybody having a good time is super important to me.
Yeah, no, and I mean, this is one of the things, like when I was trying to describe Adepticon at the beginning of the show, one of the things that's great about the 40K to Warhammer hobby, or just the miniature wargaming hobby, is how varied it is and how it offers something for everyone. Obviously, now we're talking about the 40K friendly and the narrative because these are the two events that you work on. But there are other events, like you talk about the rivalry with the championship, the team tournament. Certainly, team tournament has 125 teams, so you've got people that are there just to goof around, get drunk, and you have the absolute hardcore want to win at all price, and they're all mixed in together, and we all still manage to have a good time. And I think that's just the magic of Adepticon in general.
Yeah, my favorite part is just getting inspired, right? So I just love like walking the tables and going, "Whoa, this is a cool idea!" Like put that in the back of your brain Rolodex of like fun things to do in the future. I don't know about you, but like I walk out of there on Sunday night going, "Oh my God, these are all the things I want to do for next year," and that inspiration part it really jumps it up for me.
Every year I have a 14-hour drive back home with my brother. And most of the time we go into Adepticon exhausted. We're painting figs in our hotel room at the last minute. And we're promising ourselves, no, this is the last time.
This
like
time.
we're taking a year off next year, or this is the last time we're doing the team tournament. We need to do less. But by the time we leave Adepticon, we're in the car. We've got 14 hours with nothing else to do but just talk about the cool things we've seen, the cool things we've done, and start brainstorming what we will be doing next year. And by the time we get back to Montreal, where I live, we're settled into what we're doing. And I'll be texting Amy, who's on her flight, and then our other team members, and just saying, "Hey, how about this? How about this?" And we're already drawing up lists, knowing full well that the rules and the pointages are going to change by then. It's like you say, like it's just an absolute maelstrom of inspiration.
Yeah, it's the part I enjoy the most. I mean, also the kind of the build up to it. Like, I know your team's broken up physically by distance, right? Too, so it's a little more challenging. But even some of the sessions where you get together over a beer, talk about it, do maybe a terrain building session if you're a display board, or painting together, or another beautiful thing about doing stuff online, we can share and show progress throughout too.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, Amy, do you have any further question for our esteemed guest?
Oh, geez, I don't think I do. I'm so excited now. I mean, I was already excited, but now I'm like more excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, this is great because I still have some painting to do, and being able to talk about Adepticon with some of my friends who are going to be at Adepticon, I'm eager to see and hang out with. That gives me the fuel I need to get back into it.
Put those hours in. It's great to get ready for a family reunion. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be great. So, Brian, do you have any final words? Anything else that you want to talk? I just need to point out one thing. Like right now, if you're listening to this and you're going, "Oh man, this friendly thing sounds great. I'm gonna go sign up." Yeah, it's probably a problem.
We always have some drops for whatever reason. So we usually get in at least a half dozen of standbys. So if it is sounding like something that sounds fun to you, just show up to the TO table and just say put your name on the list, and there's a good chance we'll get you in.
Okay, like I was being a doomsayer, saying like, "Hey, it's full, so sorry, gang. 2024 is your next chance." But no, absolutely, we'll do what Brian says.
I mean, spectating is pretty great too. I will say, you at least have to cruise by.
And definitely check out the narrative if you get a chance. Well, I'll have some giant terrain yet to be built, but like a really large obelisk piece that I'm hoping to make like 4 or 5 feet tall. So we'll see if that engineering feat goes together. But we'll be back
48 days, Brian. 48 days.
Happen.
It's fine.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this. Like I said, it's very re-energizing. I'm hoping it opens some people's eyes to both to Adepticon and to the events that you run. And at least check them out and hopefully participate in this year and the years to come.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Cool. Well, we'll try to make this a tradition. Maybe we'll have you for a post-mortem after Adepticon. That might be nice.
Yeah.
You can tell us about everything that went wrong.
That was good.
Well, thank you everybody for listening / watching. All of our social media information is in the show description. And until next time, happy hobbying. Materials shown in this video are provided fully or in part by Games Workshop for promotional purposes. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping us a like and subscribing. Thanks for watching.